Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
With the big, bold flavour of HP sauce, making breakfast legendary.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean, and Gareth Richards is with us this morning. If this was Steve Wright in the afternoon, there'd be applause.
Yeah.
Text the
We
show.
don't do that.
We can text the show on 8 12 15. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email us via. I say via the Absolute Radio website. Latin, I'm guessing. Via, is it? I'm sure it is. Via Media. The middle road.
Viaduct.
Viaduct. Good question. Yes, good morning, Gareth. Thank you for dropping in.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
Is he
to
only
be here.
dropping in?
Well, I mean, he's not on next week, as far as we know,
Oh, okay.
unless Lester Cockerell's involved in a serious accident. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
No.
Crossing the road?
Wait, yeah. Why would he be doing that, I wonder?
I don't know. Text in on 8 12 15, don't.
You know all those people that defected from the Soviet Union in the 1960s and 70s? Do you think anyone did a to get to the other side joke?
Oh, they
About
must
that.
have.
You know,
There must have been some wags
Maybe.
amongst them.
Oh, it's wags everywhere now. I'm gonna go straight with the personal stuff. I had quite a big row this week with my partner.
What happened?
Is that news? Or is that a regular feature?
Well,
It was what's called a Tuesday.
Okay.
if it was a graph of our rows, it would be like quite a high
Oh,
high
gosh.
Oh, what happened?
up. What happened was I wanted to watch the cricket highlights
Okay.
after we'd watched something else together. So quite late at night.
Okay.
Gareth, I'm not sure I like something else together.
No,
It
I
sounds a
know.
bit specialist interest.
I got
We
nervous
usually-
when he said afterwards.
No, yeah, I pray. It was a day when England had done. It was tremendous. They took many wickets, and South Africa were out for.
So did
very
you want
few
to
runs.
watch it on catch-up or the sports highlights?
No, the highlights. So an hour of in a separate room on my own.
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds fun.
Now you're obviously only getting my side of the story,
Yes.
but this is how I see it, certainly. So there was a bit of we had a terrible row. I mean, like a terrible row, and to the point where the next day, which was a Sunday, I thought I need some sort of a physical peace symbol.
Oh.
So. The flowers.
No, not that.
What do you go for? I actually got quite a large woman to release doves outside the house, like when Michael Jackson was found innocent. Do you remember that they released a dove
I
for
love that
every
woman.
charge that he wasn't charged?
Oh, gosh.
I'm doing it for the Hatton Garden people when they're
I don't think a dove is it. Maybe an old grey
pigeons.
pigeon.
Oh, yeah, old scruffy old pigeon, me old son.
A smoking pigeon.
So, is that what they found in Iraq?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I decided to go for a sun. Now flowers is clearly that's route one.
Yeah.
But I'm never sure about flowers. I don't want to take a symbol of something that was once vibrant and alive that will then brown, dry out and decay over a short period of time. Seems
Yes.
like the wrong sort of imagery.
And
So I-
stolen, essentially, from God's earth.
Yes, exactly. So I went for something a bit more, I suppose, a bit more modern. I got her to cut a long story short, I got her a scratch card.
Please say you didn't.
No, I did. I thought that was a nice thing to do, because it suggested, that there's all
What
these...
is she, a nana on Coronation Street?
it's funny
A
you
young,
should say
beautiful
that.
woman.
It's funny you should say that. She's just got a job as a nana on Hollyoaks. No, she's...
To sort of give her a way out of the relationship.
Well, this is how it went. This is exactly how it went. I said, I've got you a scratch card. She said, why? And I said, well, I said, to be absolutely honest, because I just wanted something nice, to after last night. And she said, all right, so you're hoping I'll win the money and then I'll be able to afford to move out.
And you said...
And I said, I hadn't even thought of that. How much would you need to move out? we talking? No, I hadn't thought that for a second.
Oh.
And that shows how wrong. So if anyone's listening...
You meant a scratch card in the most romantic way.
I've got to be
Possibly.
honest, Frank.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd feel about the scratch card. I mean, it doesn't scream romance. It screams Kerry Katona's significant other. I don't really want a scratch card.
Well, it's not
I don't
the
really
scratch
need one,
card.
to be honest.
I think it's saying that things may look shabby and a bit worn at the corners, but they may contain solid gold.
Oh, well, that's nice.
There you go. So, anyway, didn't go that well. She didn't win either.
A card would have been better, I think. Just a card.
It was a card.
I guess.
Yeah. It just that it was a bit more interactive, as is the modern way.
Did you wrap the scratchy?
No, I didn't wrap it. I thought that would be what I might call highfalutin. So no, I just handed it over raw, as it were. If she'd won, that would have been a different story, wouldn't it? Would have been delighted. Would have used that anecdote forever. How one can go from dark to light in a twinkling. But if anyone listening has tried to patch up a relationship and it's gone wrong like that, I don't want some terrible story of some awful drawn-out divorce, if that's what you're thinking of sending in. Come on, it's Saturday morning. This is breakfast. Supposed to be light-hearted. It's the general idea. We'll get there.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
Romantic scratch cards to apologise with.
They were a great band.
Someone's tweeted us, haha, scratch card makeup. Hashtag scratch card makeup. That's what it's called now. You're going to be starting a whole new trend.
What if I start a thing?
Yeah.
And the people who do win, maybe they will move on because they've got the
Well,
springboard.
700 says, Frank, you should have made your own scratch card where when she scratched it off, it revealed romantic messages.
Well,
that would mean retooling the factory equipment you have.
This is someone who I believe has a part-time job who thinks I have that kind of spare time.
Can it
What
be
I should have done was found a graphics company and got them to make one for me.
That would have been good.
I would have done that. 712 has said, on the subject of kind of, surprising gifts, I bought my girlfriend a clothes dryer for Christmas. She saw the huge box and thought she was getting a painting. Shame.
She was probably greatly relieved. Oh, thank God it's a clothes dryer. I thought it was some stupid painting. Yeah.
I'd love a clothes dryer. Anything from Lakeland.
Can I ask
FYI,
a question?
anyone listening?
What is a clothes dryer? Does that mean like a spin dryer?
Well,
no,
it does what it says, really.
No, but is it like a spin thing? Or
No.
is it
No,
something other?
It's something that you have. Sorry, Gareth, you look like
Do
you
you
want to
hang
interject.
clothes in it? I'm
Yes,
just
you
trying
hang
to think
clothes,
if
but you
it's...
put it in the bath,
like
for example.
an era, like a clothes era
You've
dryer.
seen those things. You put them in the bath.
How long
Frank.
has it been since you've done laundry?
I took some stuff out of the tumble dryer and hung it up. the other
Tumble
way.
dryer. You see, that's what's happened.
What?
You've got a tumble dryer.
Well, I have as well, but you need a clothes dryer for those other
But
items.
what's the difference? That's what I'm trying to...
For my delicate satins. I need the clothes dryer.
Ah, delicate satins. I love them
What a great band.
Wild West gals.
So it's like a tumble dryer, but instead of
That's
using...
really helped in my distinguishing...
Can I just say, it's
not-
nothing
I
like
know,
a tumble dryer.
Oh, wish
I'm
we hadn't
starting
gone
with
to-
something we know about.
Okay.
Except instead of a machine, you just it's basically hanging clothes over a thing.
It's a coat hanger.
It's a coat hanger.
It's a coat hanger in a warm house.
Well, it's sort of a frame with lots of...
Yeah, it's a structure.
But it doesn't
and you
generate...
hang clothes over the structure.
Surprisingly hard to explain.
Okay, I'm going to do it. Think of
It's a
school-
towel rack.
Think of a climbing
Yes.
frame or something. Take a few of the bars out, and then you put your smalls over it.
Climbing frame for an elf.
Can we say elf? Hold on a minute. Oh, no, it's fine. Fine. We got till the end of January. It's currently seasonal to say elf. We're fine with it. After
Do you know that no Oscars were... No elves were nominated for Oscars this
You're
year
kidding
at all.
me.
Yeah, no, it's true. They're not going. Since Lord of the Rings was stopped. Hard times.
Anyway.
Can you believe we spent 5 minutes this morning trying to explain what a clothes dryer is?
No, it's interesting. I've never heard of one.
Well, 377 says, Frank, you would know it as a clothes horse.
Oh, I know what a clothes horse is.
Right.
Oh, that's what it is. I thought it was something you plugged in.
No.
Oh, I know what a clothes horse. Thank you. Who was that?
It's a clothes horse, guys.
377.
166. says-
I've got no. Thanks, guys. I get it now.
Oh, don't bond with them. Thanks, guys, my real friends.
No,
thank heavens my real friends stepped in there
Well,
with these
a bit
goons.
like that. I'm so happy I said guys spontaneously. Hey, I've got a big cliff. Thanks, guys.
And by clothes horse...
Power to all my friends. Sorry, you were saying, Gareth.
and by clothes horse, they don't mean just someone
Can
who's
you not
well
say it
dressed.
with that horrible authority sound? It's making me feel.
Oh, that's infinitely preferable.
It's making me
glad
feel a
you did
bit
that.
sick.
No, I don't like
We'll come
it.
back to it when you've finished vomiting.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Now here's a question. As I sit here, I look across. Was that a stage sneeze?
No,
It sounded like the sort of sneeze Madonna would do in a play.
I'm thinking more Lady Bracknell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I saw Madonna in a play at the West End, and she did the classic error of she suddenly went in a bag in a real panic, and then a phone started ringing, and she'd gone a bit early. Very.
These
that's how
these
she's got-
Amdram people.
That's how she's got where she is today. She doesn't leave stuff to the last minute. Anyway, as I sit here, ladies and gentlemen of the public, I look across at Gareth and Emily. They're both wearing spectacles. Both tortoiseshell.
Yeah.
I think that mine are plastic.
And I, what do you think of it? I tell you why I asked this, because I had an eye test,
Oh, okay.
and
Came back positive.
yeah, exactly. But they found two apparently.
Great.
And while I was in there, they said these glasses are a bit dirty, and I thought, I can't be bothered to clean them. I'll buy a new pair.
Yeah.
So I bought, and I bought.
Extraordinary attitude.
So I quite enjoyed trying on the glasses. It's one of the most fun things I've
Yes.
done for a long time. So
Having the eye test,
the eye test was fine.
not those strange Elton John glasses they give you during the eye test.
I wouldn't I'd like a pair of those. I've always said I'd like one of those chin rests. You get that would be a truly relaxing night in if you watch the football with a chin rest.
Can I just open another tab briefly on the subject of eye tests?
Yeah.
You know when they say, please read these out, and you say
Yeah.
A, E, F, K, P?
Yeah.
Why don't they tell you whether you got it right? My one just went, okay. Next, please.
No.
Why was she laughing? Was she suggesting that's so bad? Or was she saying, wow, I can't believe how spot on you were. I moved to laughter. She
No,
said, okay.
I know what you mean. You don't get the answers at
I
the
want
end.
results.
That is
Sorry.
annoying.
Close that tab.
And
move
also,
on.
they should change the prose passage that you have to read to prove how small you can read.
Yes.
Something about the trees, so beautiful. I've read that now 10,000 times. I probably know it anyway.
Yeah.
I'll say, not only can I do it in these glasses, I can do it in a blindfold. So anyway, I don't... It used to be, when I was at school, it was like the worst thing that could befall a child was that they were told they have to wear glasses.
Yeah. That was true in my day as well.
But now, obviously, people are wearing glasses that don't even have prescription glass in them because they want to look...
They're choosing to.
They want to look intelligent.
I was
People in girl bands and stuff you
Yeah.
see in spectacles.
Page 3 girls, all sorts.
I know.
Do they still exist, Page 3 girls?
I tell you who used to... What was the name of that Page 3 girl who started wearing... Joan... Guest? Something Guest?
Joan, was it 1953?
Joe Guest.
People aren't called Joan, Frank, today, in this day and age. Joan! Oh, a really sexy lady called Joan. Yeah, you know, she's friends with Patricia.
Anyway, Joe Guest, she did that thing of wearing
Yes.
spectacles.
She did.
And I don't know, I could be wrong, but she seemed to me that she was probably a very great fool.
Well, I've needed to use mine more, I'm afraid, as I've got older. My eyesight's worsened.
But you could go lenses.
I know, but I don't know. I don't like lenses. I feel people that wear lenses, there's always a big kerfuffle around them. They're attention seekers. Oh, my lenses. Oh, I've got to soak them in some solution thing.
Contact lenses we're talking about.
Yes. They're always a bit
Are there other kinds?
I have got lenses in my glasses.
Oh,
That's what I meant.
See, that's the other thing. I could just get some glasses without lenses. You know, when you see people and then they scratch their eye through there, it's a bit of a gag. Well, what I've started doing in recent times, on 2 different occasions, I have put in contact lenses, only to discover that I've already put them in. I've put them in on top of the ones I've just put in.
Oh.
No, I know what you're thinking.
What's that?
Well, that's an age thing, probably, to do that.
Right.
But you couldn't do that with glasses, surely.
No.
And you sort of get a contact lens Venn diagram of, there's some crossover, so there's bits that you can see, bits that you can...
Oh, shut your face.
Am I talking another language? Everyone's looking at me now
no,
like...
I can't. I mean, I'm going to have to go to music.
You've gone in so deep.
We're going to go to music and we're going to have a bit of a pep talk.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
Emily and Gareth have just been trying on each other's spectacles.
Yeah.
You see, that's another thing. If I became a spectacles, whenever I've suggested to people trying on each other's contact lenses, just taking them out and saying, put these in, see what you think. People don't like it.
No.
They think I might have astigmatism. That's what they're worried about.
It's not catching, though, is it?
I've got astigmatism.
Astigmatism.
I've got that.
Everybody's got one.
No, not everybody.
I bet you everybody. Anyone who hasn't got astigmatism, text in. 50p a time will be rolling in it. No, obviously, honestly, everyone I know, I said, when I first was told I had astigmatism, I said to friends, I've got astigmatism. Yeah. And they said, I've got, and everyone had got one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh, God, it's
I thought it was special, like being rhesus negative. I thought, Daisy's just said she's rhesus negative. I thought I was the only one.
Yes, I don't know what I am on the blood front. If anyone knows my blood group,
your PA 12, maybe.
She might do. I doubt it.
She will.
Be impressed if she did. The other thing I did was take my contact lenses out when I'd already taken them out. So I was just pulling on my eyeball trying to get something off.
That's awful.
It's getting dangerous. Yeah. So I tried some specs on, and I'm thinking. You see, years ago when I started doing fantasy football, Google it with David Baddiel.
Yes.
I found I couldn't read the auto cue without.
Right.
I didn't wear anything then.
Did you have to have a Brucey one?
So I went for contact lenses. That's what started me on them. Because I thought if I went for it was just too much glass on the show. Me and him both in glasses. It's too much.
The 2 Ronnies.
Yeah, exactly. And congratulations, by the way, for not mentioning the Proclaimers. We should all be so proud of ourselves.
I know.
Yeah. And so I went the contact lenses route so as I didn't look like David Baddiel, basically. I don't mean that in a negative
harsh,
way. I mean, you don't want 2 men in glasses talking about football, for goodness sake. So now I'm thinking, to be honest, what happened, Gareth? I went and saw the Alan Bennett movie, Lady in the Van.
Okay.
And I thought, it's a good look, isn't it?
It's a great look.
You look quite smart. And it balanced against the accent when I meet people for the first time. I think he sounds stupid, but he's got glasses on. So I tried some glasses on. They're called, the style is called Gregory Peck.
Wow. Oh, I'm loving the sound of those.
And they
sound very promising.
They're based on the glasses that he wore in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Do you know, I love the sound of those.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else that struck me as well.
To shoot a bird, you must need really good eyesight, so they'll be good ones.
Yeah. To be fair, that bird was being a bit cheeky by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it didn't mind taking the mickey.
Are they tortoiseshell, Frank?
Well, tortoiseshell was available.
Oh,
by the way,
what have you gone for? Purple Nancy Lamb?
Can I just say a few? Do you remember last week we talked about? You won't know this, Gareth. We talked about a thing called nominative determinism.
Yes.
Where your name makes you do certain things. So Gary Player became a golf person. For it could be an example. I wonder if when Gregory Peck was offered the role of Atticus Finch, he thought, he thought anything avian, I'm up for.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And when he brought out his pickled peppers,
yeah, they didn't really take off.
didn't take off. But
I thought the trouble is with them, they were too bland. I was expecting real acidity, you know. Don't use the word pickled if they're going to be essentially in brine.
Yeah.
Anyway, you could get.
So they're not tortoiseshell.
They're grey.
Oh.
I tried tortoiseshell and I tried grey, and the tortoiseshell.
Graphite. I think
Well,
more
they go with my hair. I thought it was an interesting idea to match it to my hair. While the tortoiseshell tends to go more with my teeth.
now I'm interested to see them, but my worry
How
is
interested are you out of 100?
73.
Oh, really?
I'm more than that.
Oh.
Well,
Okay,
they
well,
haven't,
I think they could be something of a game changer for Frank.
they haven't arrived
I
yet.
think the game's going quite well, though, as it is. But
Not the seeing game.
my worry about different colours and things is it can suggest...
Don't like the sound, don't like the way this is going.
Yeah. Not this week.
So go to adverts.
it
No,
can
go on.
suggest architect
Oh, yeah.
or European man.
Oh, yeah. That's
You
a
see
good
what I
one.
mean?
Yeah,
It's
no,
a
I
bit.
do.
I
Yeah.
don't want you to be
I know what you mean.
Danish
European
TV
man.
presenter.
European man is such a good type. I know exactly what you mean by
Yeah.
that. Yes. Okay, well, I'll be careful of that. Maybe I should have gone tortoiseshell. Too late now. Maybe I should have just gone for the raw tortoiseshell. Just had 2 carapace.
What if it's Gareth? What if it's the worst of all possible world? What if it's European architect man?
Oh, that's starting to sound good again now.
Okay.
Well, it's funny, isn't it, how 2 wrongs make a right?
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Oh, your throat's gone funny
Sorry.
again.
Oh. Oh, that's terrible.
That's awful.
Oh, that sounds like... I remember once I was stuffing envelopes at Birmingham Hippodrome, and I heard this...
Oh, this is a nice story.
And I thought, what the hell? And it was
Brian Blessed.
Opera North were on, and it was a bloke downstairs in the dressing rooms doing his warm-up exercises. Turned out it was Kenneth Williams. Anyway, so I tried on my Atticus Finches, and the 2 women in the shop, both very nice women who work in the spectacle industry, both went,
Spectacle industry.
both went, no, and I said, I like this. They went, oh no.
Did they?
And I was quite proud of myself that I resisted the advice of 2 professionals. I mean, when you see them on, you might think I made a terrible error.
Well, I've looked them up already online, and I love them.
Well, they look good on Gregory Peck, but what doesn't look good on Gregory Peck? That's this week's texting.
Strange pin-up in this day and age.
So I bought them, and they're on the way, I'm told.
Cool story, bro.
I just wish
Yeah.
I knew why in 2016 it takes 2 weeks to get a pair of spectacles. Can you believe
I
that?
hear
Well,
you.
that sounds like you've gone to a good optician's, because the posher the opticians, the longer the glasses take
Oh,
to
is
take.
that
I
right?
think that
Is
is.
that right? Aren't they just operating the law of scarcity that we've discussed on this show before to make you think you've got something
Like
that
a
others
souffle.
covet? Oh, quite, Frank. This will take 20 minutes in
A big
8th point in the menu.
a big chef person told me you can knock up a souffle in less than 5 minutes, but they drag it out a bit so it sounds special and they charge you more for it.
Yeah.
Aye, put that in your pipe and smoke it. So anyway, so I
How
cashed
did
out the
the
money.
women? Sorry, Frank. How did the women say to you? You tried them on, and they just said to you, "Oh no." Did they really say that?
You know, women. They give you that really? And I said, I like these, and one of them went, really? And it's
She
very...
sounds like me.
Very undermining. But they were very nice.
They
Yes.
took it well. They went, "No, Mr. Skinner, no, please,
I know, but what was
please,
great...
not those ones."
What was great is I
Were they
realised...
crying when you left?
I realised that the ones I was fighting for were twice as expensive as the others. So they were arguing for the cheap ones.
That's how bad they thought they looked.
Yeah, exactly. They would rather have sacrificed the money than
Then
leave
have
me.
a human being wander around. No, do you know why I respect you for that? This is our thing Darren Brown's very obsessed, right? Is social compliance. People feeling forced to accept others' opinions on things, and you
Yes.
didn't. Well done.
I agree with Emily.
The terrible thing, though, they're quite expensive, these glasses, so I shelled out.
Well,
I
I've
totally
seen
shelled out for them.
I've seen the price online.
Yes.
I'm still reeling.
Yes.
Gareth, I don't even want you to look at that website.
And I got an email the following day offering me free laser eye surgery.
Oh, don't do that.
So I'm having that, and I'll just take the lenses out, use them to torture insects in the summer. Nothing wasted in our house.
Frank, don't have laser eye surgery.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Apparently, they have to inject your eyeball to put it to sleep or whatever.
Well, what if something happens and you can't drive? It'll be embarrassing.
Well, I just get a chauffeur. Anyway, that's how I sort things. I throw money at it.
Imagine if I said that.
I had.
I
well,
do
if I
say
couldn't
things like
drive, what else could you do? If you couldn't drive, like, you know, it's like the drinking driving people when they get done, you know, they often pay somebody to drive for them for a year. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it happens. Anyway, I also had a medical this week. What about this? The woman said, lift your jumper up.
Well, your medicals they always end up. I'm glad it was a woman, because when there's last time it was a male doctor and it ended
yes,
up with
I
him
remember.
holding your gentleman's excuse me,
remember
and you're
that.
singing Sometimes When We Touch.
Exactly. I remember that very well. He didn't actually. He
No, but
wedged-
you felt compelled to sing that.
He wedged his hand. As I said, it was like somebody trying to get one more book on the bookshelf. It was like he just squeaked. His hand was in. Anyway,
So
enough
she
of
said,
that.
she
man.
said, lift up your jumper.
Do you know he still writes? She said, lift up your jumper. So I had to hold my jumper
Still
on.
right, like Joe Walton.
And she said, I'm going to measure your belly. Not your waist, your belly, because, you know...
Well, that's rude.
What we do... I know.
For a start.
Yeah. What we do, we buy trousers and then we sit our bellies on top like Humpty Dumpty
yes.
atop a wall.
When you say we, do you mean the human race?
I mean men.
Okay.
And women, I think.
No, he's absolutely right.
Yeah, thanks very much. You still doing your just being persuaded.
Yeah, whatever you say.
So anyway, she puts the tape measure on. It's a standard tape measure, like you might see around the neck of an aging tailor. And she put it round, and as she measured it out, the white tape measure suddenly became red. There was a red section.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to go into the red.
I'm a victim of red tape. And so the
Have
red.
you ever gone red before?
No, I think the red section means, you know, danger. Danger, high voltage.
Well, at least you
means-
didn't say, I need to go and get another tape measure, because this hasn't
Hang
reached all the
on.
way round.
Hang on a minute. You say it means danger, high voltage. What if you're Andre the Giant? Presumably your proportions will be different, won't they?
Yeah, well, I couldn't really work that out. I don't think anyone is supposed to have a belly, even Andre the Giant. Who is Andre the Giant, by the way?
He was a wrestler.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yes, he was in The Princess Bride as well.
Oh, okay. Respect.
Played,
Oh, he did well. He diversified.
did.
It was in Diversity. See, he wore glasses, the little one in Diversity, and Dan's never fell off. How do you make of that? So, what was I thought? Oh, yeah, so I'm a bit worried about it. And she said, I've got the last time you were weighed was last January.
Yeah.
And she said, you've gained, in a year, you've gained 3 kilos.
3 kilos? That sounds a lot.
Yeah, well, it does. I mean...
I think of kilos as like bags of sugar or something.
I think of them as... I have no idea what a kilo is. I realise. I know this is pathetic. 3 kilos. If somebody said to me, what weighs 3 kilos, I would have guessed, you know, a smart car.
Andre the Giant.
And no, it turns out that I've gained 3 kilos in a year.
But you're
I've
lovely
gone into
looking.
danger.
High voltage.
Yikes.
Yeah. Fire on the dance floor. Oh, I don't know. I need.
Do you know
I need
you'd
help.
never think it to look at you?
I know it's fun. I said people think I'm thin, and you're telling me I'm part of the
You are thin.
national obesity crisis. Knock, as we call it.
I have two things to say. Firstly, you've got a lovely little physique.
Thank you.
Secondly, I'm glad I got that NASA sweatshirt in an XL.
And on that note,
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Gareth Richards. You can take the show on 8 12 15. Text the
Take
show.
the show.
Don't take the show. I don't want a load of techies turning up now to work on the show.
Oh, I do.
Text the show on 8 12 15. Follow the show on Twitter @Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. No, because you know techies, they all have fleeces on that say things like don't scare the hair.
And they
Things
always
they've
have
worked
a lanyard, don't they? With the pass on.
Oh, yes. Now, what else?
Did you see?
Did you see with Ludovic Kennedy?
Ludo.
Late review.
Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby on This Morning.
Oh, yes.
They were looking worse for wear because they'd been out the night before.
Sorry, you're a tabloid journalist.
I know,
Where you're
worse for
talking.
wear.
Worse for wear.
You're going to say someone's been piling on the pounds next. Sorry, as you were.
Yes, they went to the NTAs, the National Television Awards.
Harumph.
I
That's
don't
the
know
hair
about these
pieces and
things.
fake tans ones.
Yeah.
That's
Is
what
it?
they're. Did you go to the National Television Awards, Frank?
Are you joking?
Did you go, Gareth?
No, I didn't go.
Neither did I, but I'll tell you who did go. Daisy, our producer.
Daisy
know.
went to the... Yeah, but that it is...
she
and
dropped
I love,
it in all
you know I
casual
love
like.
Daisy, but it's very much as what I would call a people's event.
Well, it's funny you should say that.
I watched some on the telly.
I said to Daisy, I said, who did you... What was the NTAs like? She dropped it in really casually. I said, oh, what have you been up to this week? Oh, nothing. I went to the NTAs. She couldn't wait to drop it in.
Yeah.
Oh, not much, no.
But
no news.
she...
I went to the NRA, the National Rifle Association.
cold dead hands.
Is it like that? It's the National Rifle Association.
Why do people... when they talk about TV people, though, they lose all... She said, we sat in front of Broadchurch near Dr. Foster.
Yeah.
These are human beings. She's referring to them, and then...
But those are... See, there's an example, I think. Like, Broadchurch is, it's a clever... The thing about the NTA is there is quite a lot of celebration of shows that are popular but not that good.
Oh, yes. I would agree with that.
Is it all right to say that?
Well,
Well, I think it's just the truth.
Okay, but there are good ones as well that come through.
for instance, Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby won for This Morning.
There you go.
They did.
Yeah.
That's
They do
respect.
good. And they've
Yeah.
won a lot of those.
I'm grumpy and jealous. Don't get me wrong. I watched the whole show. I didn't watch the whole show. I saw the bit when they won. I saw about 15 minutes of the show, and I was a bit like, they say when Natalie Wood got married, she'd previously been out with James Dean, and then she'd finished with him. And when she got married, he sat outside the ceremony revving his motorbike for the whole thing, so no one could hear what was being said. I felt a bit like that when I watched the NTA.
I understand.
Yeah. But, don't get me wrong, I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
Well, they went out partying apparently the night before.
Oh,
Did
I
they?
bet they... The night before.
No.
the night before in the morning when it was after the
Sorry,
night.
the chronology on this has gone completely. After they won the award, they
went out afterwards.
partied.
And they went round to someone's house, someone famous's house is where they always
Anton
go.
Deck.
Yes.
Do they still live
You
together?
know what? Don't ever get a job as a 3am girl. They went round to someone famous's house. It was Anton Deck, Gareth.
Building up to it. It's
Oh,
going to be
sorry.
a big... Not Anton Deck. They're not a couple, are they?
Well, they do. They live next door to each other.
Do they still?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But it was only one
in the
of
West
them.
London area.
I think it was Anne McPartlin's house.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Unnecessary use of surname there, but thank you.
Black hair. That's what I like to do. If people talk, just so people know which one is which.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always think that his hair looks a bit like it might be part of an ant. Because he's very black
He's,
and a bit spiky.
He's my one. All women have, are you Ant or Deck? Who would you...
Is that
Mine's
right?
Anne. Daisy?
Oh, it's a bit like, who's your favourite
Deck.
Spice
Daisy's
Girl?
Deck.
Is that
She had
right?
to say that to keep him with me in case I got angry. Yeah, I'm Anne.
What I didn't like about the party at Aunt McPartlin's, it said that they spent...
Were you there?
No, but I read about it. Of course I wasn't there. Can you imagine how much of a spare part I would have felt at that? Them sitting there with their awards. Anyway, and they played a game called Pie Face.
What is Pie Face?
Well, I just hope they weren't mocking Emma Bunton.
Thanks.
So I won't be happy if I find that out. We'll come back, I think, to this story, because it's a strange and desperate tale.
Of excess of show businesses in our modern age.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, of the emptiness of the modern world, maybe even.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
Okay, we were just talking about Phil and Holly.
I asked Daisy if she
Phil
got
and
any
Holly's
selfies.
Kingdom.
Frank, I asked Daisy if she got any selfies.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I was a bit embarrassed when she gets so I mean, she's a producer on our radio show, and she gets selfies. I said, she gets selfies. She went, only with EastEnders.
I like that she's retained the common touch.
I do, actually. You're right.
Sorry.
Phil and Holly.
Now, here's the crux of this is that Holly and Phil turned up to this morning the day after. Let's call it next morning. They turned up, still in the clothes they had on the night before, all giggly and falling about, and the question is, and I don't want to be a wet blanket, do I think it's all right for people to turn up for work a little bit tipsy, having been up all night? The answer is no, I don't.
Were they strung out?
Well, I don't know. I'm not suggesting they were drunk, but by their own admission, they'd been up all night playing Pie Face at Aunt McPartland's.
She had mustard and piccalilli on her dress.
Yeah. But I must say, that's one of the best double acts going around at the moment.
I think, to quote Philip, he said, "I can only apologise, we're not actually right. We shouldn't be here, we shouldn't be doing this." Which, considering they just won an award, is a harsh review.
I'm just saying, if Philip was rushed into surgery, he might not take that from the surgeon.
Yeah.
Surgeon comes in an evening suit saying, "Look, sorry, mate. I mean, I'll do my best. We'll see how it goes."
I'll tell you my objections. I hate people talking about having hangovers in any sort of public space. So I don't, on Twitter, when people say, "Oh, sorry, a bit of a fisticuffs with a bottle of Chardonnay last night," I don't, and I didn't believe Holly and Phil had stayed out.
Oh, really? Wow.
What, are you suggesting some sort of conspiracy?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I think...
You know what I hate?
Where did they sleep at Anton Decks? On a blow-up Lilo?
They didn't sleep.
They didn't sleep. They had such an amazing
come
time.
on.
They were playing
this is
Pie
it.
Face.
They're middle-aged people.
You can't play a
He
game of
is.
Pie Face quickly.
If there's one thing I can't
They
cope
went to
with,
bed.
I can't cope with people having an uncomplicatedly good time.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you got to have a certain world view to have a good time completely. Every good time I have is obviously undermined by doubts, fears and uncertainties.
Yeah.
And don't rub our noses in it. People sitting at home, probably, I imagine it's mainly watched by the long-term unemployed. And they're watching that and thinking these people have got the best job. They're just they're turning up exhausted, drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, they should give the full story because, we had a crazy time when we were playing games under deck, but they didn't say, and at 5 o'clock, I thought, is any of this worth it? What does it all mean in the grand scheme of things?
An all-nighter that sticks in my memory is I went to a friend's house and I stayed the night and...
Were these in your drinking days?
This is in my very heavy drinking days.
Oh, God.
And I was asked to leave. I had attempted to sleep, just long enough to wet the bed, no longer. And that's
awful.
Yes, the lady of the house asked me to leave, which was reasonable.
And bunk beds.
Waterbed after that.
The great thing was I was on the lower bed. I still managed to soak her mattress.
Wow. That is osmosis in action.
No, it was just the power of the jet. But anyway...
Tell the story.
I went walking. It was like about 7 o'clock of a Sunday morning.
Because you were chucked out?
Yeah. I was walking. I was still fighting drunk. and I was walking, and I walked to my junior school, my Roman Catholic
I
junior
thought you were going to say
school.
to my central reservation.
No, so
You
I...
were still in junior school.
No,
weren't you?
no.
I mean, what life in Birmingham in those days?
I went back to my junior school that I hadn't
right.
seen for many years,
Oh.
and I leaned on the railings. I remember, well, I say lean, I held on to the railings to keep me up. And I just gazed at the playground where I'd spent so many hours as a child and wept.
Oh.
I didn't go and present this morning. That was my response. It was dark, desolate response, and that's what you want after an
Well,
all-nighter.
I think perhaps you have a bit more of a hinterland. Maybe.
Well, I don't know, but I would have switched off immediately. Can I remind you of something? And I don't want to sound holier than thou, but I'm going to. When Kerry Katona was on there, a little bit worse for wear. I mean,
Right,
do you remember
that's
Philip Schofield said, hold on a minute, can I just say, you don't quite seem right, Kerry? Remember he said that? He said you was being a bit slurry and stuff. Suddenly, he was the voice of moral Britain, the wagging finger. Now...
He
now
said,
he went
we're
to
not
war.
right.
No,
Yes.
exactly. Hey!
Well, that's
I wish
interesting.
Kerry Katona had come on and say, so it's come to this! Oh, God, I hope she reprimands them through some form.
I do. Twitter, that's what they use now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Okay. I will start with email 1. Hi, Frank.
Email 1.
Emily and Gareth.
It says Alan on here. It says Alan.
Oh, I know, but you know. I am a regular reader via podcast as I live in Melbourne, Australia.
You could be a regular reader if it was by Senna podcast. Hey, do you think regular as in... Oh.
On Tuesday, 11th January, it is exactly 20 years since I emigrated to Australia, so that was a while back.
Mazel tov.
I'm interested to know what you all think is the best thing that has happened in England in the last 20 years.
Wow.
And what you would have travelled to Australia to avoid in the last 20 years.
Oh.
Please remember that Kylie and the royal family are often in Australia, so you can't list them as avoid. Thank you, Kate.
As if we'd avoid Kylie and the royal family.
Exactly. Best thing and...
Worst thing in the last 20 years.
Well, it's funny thinking about what would not have happened in Australia that has happened here, because in our, in this media world, everything tends to touch everything else.
What
doesn't
about
it?
if we said the worst thing that's happened in the last 20 years is the northern hemisphere? I think we're on safe ground.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I hate the way that water goes down the plug hole plot-wise. That's something worth avoiding. There was the Brits, of course. I don't mean the ceremony. I mean the actual population.
Yes.
Binge drinking,
It's
turning
all
up for work drunk.
It's gone downhill.
No, what are the best things?
The best things that have happened here, on this soil... Ringo Starr saying to a man who asked for his autograph, "No, you're all right."
Oh yeah.
I think that's the best thing that's happened in the last 20 years.
What about him on his website saying, "I'm warning you with peace and love"?
Peace and love.
Anything Ringo Starr has done.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. He's probably released a couple of albums
Yeah.
with that man with a multicoloured beard who he works with.
Oh yes, I know that character.
I won Reader of the Year in 1999. Is that in the last 20
Yes,
years?
that is.
Yeah.
There you go.
In 1996, the Conservatives were in power and they were arguing about Europe. So nothing
You
has
know,
changed.
you sound like a trendy history teacher.
You look like a trendy history teacher as well.
Woodwork.
Yeah.
What about Black and Red as one of the worst things that's happened?
What was it called? Red and Black? Or, that
Black or Red?
Black or red?
No,
The,
Red and the Black
Anton
is a
Deck.
novel
The
by
Anton Deck show.
Oh, yeah, Heads or
Stendhal,
Tails.
isn't it?
Yes. Well, it was. Yes. Well, this is
well, the most
it was-
romantic TV show ever, according to you, because gambling is a...
No, but it wasn't called Red and Black because it wouldn't have been much of a gambling show. It was one where you had to choose red or black, and if you
Right.
won, if you got it right, you won.
It was a very simple premise.
It was a very simple premise, and I think I proved categorically at the time it was it had a devil worship theme at core.
Wow.
Yeah. But so there was that. What about Mary Bale putting the cat in the wheelie bin? taught us more about human nature than Freud did.
So in some ways
I
it was the
would say.
better thing. I mean, it was cruel to the cat.
Yeah, the cat was fine. Cruel to cat. Isn't that a squeeze track?
Sometimes you've got to be cruel to be kind.
It's difficult. It actually is actually difficult. Things that...
Yeah, haven't happened in
Well,
Australia.
Gareth's right, though, because they have happened in Australia.
Well,
Because we're all so connected now. I'm afraid.
Oh, yes. Anyway, if anyone would like to text in what they think's the best thing that's happened in England in the last 20 years,
mean, like-
or the worst thing.
Yeah, a celebration of stupidity on television. That's happened here, but it's also happened in Australia.
Yes.
This
Indeed.
morning was on in Australia, was it?
Oh dear, we sound so bitter this morning.
We
you know
do.
why, don't we?
Why?
Because we're so bitter.
Yeah, we are.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
So, Gareth, there'll be people listening who don't know who you are.
I'm Gareth Richards.
Why don't you tell us about your life?
Oh, well, this week, I guess the big event of the week was I took Elijah, my 4-year-old, second son, to get a haircut.
Okay. How
'Cause it-
old's he? 4? Is that all right for a haircut?
Yeah, you're allowed to cut their hair when they're 4,
Is
I
it
think.
complicated though? Does he squirm?
He does hate it. He really hates it. So I started off by saying, "Oh, you really need a haircut, and if you're really good for it, you might get a treat."
That's good.
And I was thinking, he really hates getting his hair cut, so I was thinking maybe a toy.
Oh, I thought you meant like a bit of product. You know, at the end when they say, "What a bit of product?" Sometimes I don't want a bit of product, but I think, it's all in free.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
No, I meant I would have bought him a toy,
Okay.
but he said I would like a lolly,
Well, result.
which you
Yep.
get at the end of the haircut anyway.
You were gonna
if
say
you're a kid,
helicopter.
at the end of the
He's
helicopter.
a secret millionaire over here.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, that's brilliant. So we went to our local hair place, Hair Excellence.
Is that what it's
on
called?
Charminster
German
Road.
bloke?
Yes.
Okay.
No, actually, I think they might be Turkish.
Okay.
It's very
Oh.
multicultural where we live.
this have you heard of?
down Charminster Road.
I don't think of Bournemouth as especially multicultural.
Yeah,
No.
no, you'd be surprised. And
No.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it is. And the street where we down by is kind of off where we live. It's
We
very-
don't know it.
Yeah, no.
No.
It's-
Maybe we could put Google Earth up on the Absolute website.
Yeah.
You could look it up.
Lots of lovely people.
Okay.
Yeah, but what if
not-
when they took the picture on Google Earth, Gareth was up to no good in his garden? That's terrible.
That's-
Now.
Never been
I
up to my
doubt.
good and no good in my garden.
I doubt that's ever happened.
Okay, as you were.
Oh, there was that unofficial burial thing you got involved in.
Well,
I know it's open. I know it's open to debate. Anyway,
yes. So it's multicultural where we live. It's Nigel Farage's worst nightmare, but we like it.
okay.
And the guy doing the haircut, he completely did it wrong. Right, he started off so I'd got Elijah in there and he was really happy, but then as soon as I was starting to say it's time for your haircut now, and the guy said there's a chair free, he looked over and said I'm ready, and then Elijah said no, I nearly want my haircut.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that means that's his way of saying I don't want it now.
No.
Yes.
Later, he says
Yes.
I nearly want it cut.
No, I understand that.
So I was going. I was there. Oh no! It's come on, you be a big boy. And then the guy, he said, "Oh, well, you want? I'll give you a lolly if you get your hair cut."
Oh, so he's had the lolly
You
up
don't
front.
give the lolly at the start
Of course
the
you don't.
I'm
haircut.
so relieved he didn't do the accent. I don't
Yeah,
care
no,
what happens next. Now we've got over that
I just
particular
steer clear
obstacle.
of accent.
I would have done it.
You can join the lines.
Yeah.
And so he had and then he's opened a lolly, and then that's going to get hair covered on it.
Oh.
So then I had
Well,
to
not
take it
just
off
that.
him.
You don't give the treat up front. That
No.
has to happen afterwards.
Now there speaks the words of wisdom.
There speaks the words of experience.
Yes,
A
exactly.
lesson hard learnt.
Yeah. So he had the lolly
He had the lolly, and then
in the chair, or was he still?
before the chair. We haven't even got him to the chair
I
yet.
didn't-
A pre-chair lolly.
What sort of a joker is this?
Wasn't great. It sounded like my audiences. But, and so he started having his hair cut, and he
Not
really...
sure about the plural.
Is he eating the lolly at this point?
I had to take the lolly off him because it's going to get covered in hair.
I mean, please.
So I had a bit of it, and then I put it back in the wrapper.
Basic human psychology.
Yeah.
Yes, and then so he hates having his hair cut, so he's crying quite a lot, and he's wriggling. So I have to hold him down so that he can shave up the sides. And
it's all right. It's legal.
he doesn't like the buzzing.
I'm a bit worried about shave up the sides. What are you
This is
telling him
hair.
to do?
Remember, this is hair excellence. We give you a haircut like we had in good old days.
Yes.
Okay. So you held him down?
I had to hold him down because he was shrugging and like lifting his shoulders up.
I'd
so
be
there
doing
was
that if someone was shaving the sides of my head.
And he's in floods of tears, and he says, "Daddy, how long is my haircut going to last?"
Oh.
He didn't like having his hair cut. And then so the guy's like, "I'll give you more lollies."
Wow.
He had 3 lollies by the end
Can
of
I
it.
ask you, at the end, when he sat there, bruised, battered and tearful, did the bloke still hold up one of those hand mirrors and say... And he had to go, yes, great, lovely, that's beautiful, thank you very much. I'd like to have seen that.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
I have an email. Shall I read email number 2?
Oh, go on.
Number 2. Okay.
FA Cup draw.
Yeah.
Dear Frank, Emily and Gareth,
Good editing.
I am an avid podcast reader and first-time scribe. As a politician from Ireland, it is difficult for me not to heap praise on you all, but I will resist.
Oh, that's a shame.
Recently, at work, a colleague and I approached a lift at the same time to go up a few floors for a vote. I pressed the up arrow.
Better call some things, Frank.
Yeah. The up arrow, yes, as you
I
would.
pressed the up arrow to call the lift. My colleague looked upwards and then pressed the down arrow.
Oh.
I questioned why she pressed the down arrow as we needed to go up for the vote. She said the lift was at the 2nd floor, so she was calling it down.
Oh,
She was looking for an incremental ascent.
I explained that you pressed the button for the direction in which you wish to travel.
Yeah.
A discussion ensued.
How old was the colleague? I'm guessing 4?
I don't know. She's allowed to vote in some sort of political things
But
in Ireland.
you can probably
Is it?
vote
Yeah,
out
I imagine.
from the off. I should
Oh,
think.
yeah.
It's fairly common knowledge, isn't it?
Well, I would have thought so.
That woman must get in a lot of lifts and go, oh. You know when you do that, when you get in there, oh, it's going down, I've got to get to the basement first.
Yeah.
But when you spy the latecomer, I press that button not to let them in.
Do you? Do you press closed doors?
Yeah, I just press.
Oh, that last look they give you, though, as the doors close. Terrible. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, well, there's another character entering. An usher joined us in the lift.
Usher?
I don't think one of the ushers.
Okay.
An usher joined us in the lift, but refrained from being definitive as he did not wish to come between members.
Oh, he's been...
that's Usher for you.
That's
quite diplomatic.
professional. That's very professional.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I even said to my colleague, "This is an idiotic eureka moment. If you would only believe me."
Quite
Which is
plaintive.
A roundabout way of calling someone an idiot.
Slash liar.
Well, the Irish are very poetical in their general conversation.
I felt she wished to believe me, but is not convinced. I would welcome your thoughts.
Well, I think you're right, is my first thought.
Yes. Me
Yeah.
too.
Um,
I'm afraid there's no voice of controversy this morning.
But there is a logic to there's a logic to it. It's just that the fact the woman has arrived at it by never noticing other people do it.
Yes.
The other woman, But there is a logic to saying it's on the 2nd floor, we'll bring it down.
Yeah.
Well,
I know, so I
her
used to-
whole life she's been wrong.
I used to be a rooftop psychiatrist, so I know. I know the logic. But it's almost like, it's like when one of those people say things like, I went to Bermuda for my holidays, and you think,
Well, you
you
can't.
must have heard people say that.
You can't correct them by that stage.
No.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to, it's quite exciting to hear from an Irish
Yes.
politician, isn't it?
Well,
not?
yeah, they say, she says, "You are all welcome to visit Ireland, and I would happily
I've
be
heard
your
that.
tour guide."
Really?
Oh, that'd be nice,
I
Frank.
must have a lot of spare time. It's been a revelation this week. I mean, one of the questions I've asked on the show this week to myself is, how hard is it to host this morning if you can turn up with no sleep and it's still absolutely fine? And now, the Irish politicians, you think, were rushed off their feet, offered to give us a tour of Ireland.
Yeah.
How lovely. She's called Gillian
Van Turnout.
Gillian Van... It's probably... It's. I think I googled Gillian.
It's a bit dodgy.
And she... I hope to God that doesn't mean something different in Ireland. And she's married to a Dutchman, so it's probably like Turnhout or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
But how exciting. It's lovely.
She
to
says,
hear.
Frank, if you visited in August, you could take in the Irish Redhead Convention.
Take the boy over? No, I wouldn't it be great now to get... I wouldn't mind... What's the name of the parliament? Is it the Tossock?
Careful.
It's
Very careful.
Irish pronunciation is very difficult. But I
The
looked her up.
Senate.
One thing I noticed is that she's got the freedom of Killarney.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you know the song? When you can buy all these wonderful things, then you can buy Killarney. Everybody, how can you... No, maybe you didn't hear me.
No.
Everybody, how can you buy all the stars?
I don't know that one.
Even if I did, I wouldn't sing that.
Well, it's shorter than you can't always get what you want.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Gareth Richards. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter @Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website, or present the show via Toast, which is what I'm doing at the moment. But there, it's gone.
So I've been very excited this week about the Girls Aloud. Is it Nadine Coyle?
No, it's Nadine.
Nadine.
Do you know
Sorry.
Nadine Coyle? No, but that'll save a lot of time.
She has announced a new career path for herself.
Yeah.
She was in
Yes.
Girls Aloud.
Yes.
Well, she was in, and she was the one with the cracking pair of pins.
She's a very attractive woman, Nadine Coyle.
Does that mean legs?
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
That does mean, yeah.
And then
wasn't
she
She
left.
wasn't a
Yes.
seamstress.
She wanted to launch a solo career, and it all went a bit Peter Tong.
Yes, I don't think it went. I can't remember now. There was some controversy, but didn't she sell it all through
Tesco's or
Lidl?
something.
Was
Or
it Lidl?
Woolies,
Tesco?
maybe, back in the day. Can't
Maybe.
remember. Anyway.
I think she was exclusive to a
Tesco,
supermarket
yeah.
chain.
Yeah, which backfired.
Did it?
Well,
Funnily enough, I had a car backfire the other week for the first time for years.
oh.
Anyway, yes, so now she's retraining, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a tweet of a hoodie,
Yeah.
which is always good. This is news, you know. This has been in the news. It says, I don't need therapy, I just need to listen to Nadine Coyle.
Can I say something? The look of this hoodie, it's got that on the back. It looks like it's not something it looks like these have been mass-produced.
Yeah,
Yes.
it looks like her merchandise.
The manufacturers of this probably thought this could be the next Frankie Says t-shirt. And it says, I don't need therapy, I just need to listen to Nadine Coyle. Isn't it Nadine?
Nadine.
No, but she's Irish, so she says Nadine.
Oh, God, she's Irish. I mean, it's not the best accent for therapy. And what's your relationship like with your mother and father?
Yes, because
I mean,
that's what all Irish people sound like.
I think from the north.
Well, I think if you were going to have therapy with Ian Paisley, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she used...
Your conscience says yes. Your subconscious says no. I mean, you don't want that every week.
Goodness me.
but
God
she...
bless her, though. What a career move that is. Girls
Well,
allowed.
She said,
to.
hashtag medical degree, here I come.
Yeah, she said she's going to become a psychiatrist. She's going to be, in 10 years' time, which is that how long it takes to become a psychiatrist?
Well, yeah, because she's chosen psychiatry, it appears. Just so, in case she's unaware, you can be a psychologist or a counsellor, and you don't have... Because a psychiatrist is a doctor. You have to do a medical degree, and then you
really?
specialise in psychiatry. It's like being a paediatrician. It's not like, but you know what I mean. Why do I suddenly know about the medical profession?
Have you been looking into doctors?
We'll talk later.
Okay.
So yes, extraordinary. What do you think of it, Frank?
Has it been inspired purely by this hooded top? I mean, there are many signs and symbols that come to us in life that we think, oh, maybe that's an omen. But when it's your own merch...
This is true.
It is a strange...
do you know,
did Frankie learn to
Nadine
relax?
Coyle? No, but thanks for the top.
Yeah, Frankie says relax. Funnily enough, if you want to relax, I'm going to be a massage person.
I'm bringing out a new Valium spin-off. Yeah, what?
A Valium spin-off.
It's. I mean, we've all. I suppose we all think about, alternative careers, but to actually announce it. I mean, is she signed? We don't know if she's signed up, if she's actually begun the course.
When you say signed up, well, no, she does say she says she'll be doing it in 10 years. So I would imagine a medical degree is 7 years plus your 3. Yeah, you're looking at a good old decade.
Abandoned. What about the comeback tour in about 3 years' time?
Yeah.
Then it'll be to hell with the those sufferers.
Well, maybe she's been following the lives of the other members of Girls Aloud and thinks that being a psychiatrist might be helpful.
Yeah, that's for customers straight up.
And if there is going to be a reunion tour, they'll probably need to employ one of those.
She needs to drop the hashtag, though, if she's going to be a psychiatrist. It's just not very...
Well,
it's professional,
I think you'll find in 10 years' time every psychiatrist will have at least one hashtag. So that's the way it's going.
Hashtag patient giving me evils, orcs.
I wonder if she'll be one of the first crop-top psychiatrists. I look forward to it very much.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We're talking about Nadine Coyle becoming a psychiatrist.
Yes.
Maybe she thinks there's going to be a programme called Psychiatry The Rivals, in which you can do it, sort of fast-track the whole process.
Yes.
And
Dr. Coyle, you are not going home.
I think there's something brilliant about it. It reminds me a bit of The Sopranos, which I hate. I'd got a... Do you remember the...
Hey,
do you remember the
worst show on television.
Do you remember the psychiatrist in that? She was like a glamorous woman who he sort of fell in love with.
Yes. Lorraine Bracco.
Probably. So Nadine's going to be like that. She's going to be the sort of, the beautiful saviour of one's soul.
70s. Well, what I would say...
I'm saying this, I'm guessing she'll drop out mid-March.
Well, so she's got a lot of qualifications to amass.
Do you think, how
she
far
might have
back
got
does she...
them.
Because how old was she when she did the Pop Stars? Because does she have to go back and get her SATs? Or GCSEs?
She has to do the... Well, no, she might have the GCSEs. It's just she will need the A-levels.
If anyone knows Nadine's current educational qualifications...
Well, I've just been looking them up.
Oh, yeah.
And I learn that whilst attending college, she did get good grades.
Good grades.
Yeah, but they're not specific about what these grades were.
It's like all the president's men, this research. It's got to the bottom of this issue. Can she become a psychiatrist on good grades?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, look, we wish her well.
That's good, yeah.
So we've all fantasised about different... I sometimes think, wouldn't it be great to be one of those war memorial alcoholics? Do you know what I mean?
That's the job you want.
Did you not do a stint of that?
I did do a stint of it, but, I never complete. I dropped out.
Oh, you didn't see it through.
Yeah, but I do sometimes. I'll drive past, or be driven, and I just think there is something Kings of the Road about it. Still something appealing.
I always felt I'd make a good lawyer. Because I've got very good cross-examination skills.
Objection, Your Honour.
You've got to do a bit more than that.
You don't do that in English court.
No. It's not LA law, love. But
someone told me that's the way to spot whether the research is good for any legal drama. If there's any British court where someone says objection, they haven't done their research. They've just watched Perry Mason.
Oh, Gareth, you're never going to get work in this area. I am. I think I'd be a good lawyer. Do you agree?
Yes, whatever you say.
Thank
Your witness. What about you, Gareth?
Well, I had a very exciting...
I mean, this is a more realistic prospect for you, obviously.
That's the nicest thing.
Or can I just say...
Anyone said to me that you think I might be able to get a job of some sort.
Well, you know.
Gareth,
What do you think I could do?
You could be
I
one of
think you
those
could do all
people who... I think you'd be all right doing windscreens at traffic lights.
I see you being really helpful in a shop.
I seem starting off being helpful and then slightly losing it, getting a bit aggressive, which I've seen him in doing a shop as a customer. So I'm sure it could go the other way.
Many times.
No,
Well,
true.
an exciting avenue opened up
I've
for
never
me.
been more embarrassed in my life.
He's telling a story.
An exciting avenue opened up for me recently. I was with the family having a walk in the New Forest,
Oh, yeah.
which is it's lovely.
Oh, is that where the horses get roam wild?
Yeah, there's wild horses.
How long are they going to stick with the New Forest?
I don't know how long they're going to stick with the whole forest idea, because there are some trees, but
Well,
not.
let's face it, so many of us have moved on since those days.
There must be a point where people just call it the forest.
How dare you?
Sorry, yeah. Shall we come back to this anecdote?
Yes.
We have
Yes,
certain
hang on.
obligations on commercial radio when it comes to advertising. But I like the idea that we're in the New Forest. ... That's Gareth's three daughters.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
Can I ask a question? I'm going to. Why is Charlie in another studio? It's like those women on World of Sport who used to wander around in the background.
Yeah, I think she's probably
Up to no good.
running a small cab company on the side. That's what she looks like.
Frank, we've had a very exciting message in from Donna, who says, "Hi Frank, I called my Shih Tzu dog after you 8 years ago." Unsurprisingly, he's called Frank. And she's just discovered you on, she calls it Absolutely Radio.
Okay.
It is absolutely radio.
Well, it is, yeah. But that's lovely.
Donna.
Regards to... Frank! It's going mad now. Going absolutely mad.
I'd call a dog after you.
Thank you very much. We'd have to, chronologically. I've already been called. Okay. So,
We're in the New Forest.
oh yes, we're in the New Forest.
So as you said, the New Forest is known for its ponies. I think it's
They roam free.
yes. We once were driving through the New Forest, and there was one in the middle of the road.
Shut up.
Yeah, and it came over and then bumped our bonnet, and it popped up.
Did it climb in?
It didn't, but it was like the Fonz, just being able to.
It's like the me of the
yeah.
equine world.
What did you do? Did you get out? You had to
Yeah, well,
obviously
we
put
had
it back
to
down. So you got it quite
wait for it
close
to
to
go
the pony.
away.
Are you waiting for it to go away?
Yeah.
How did the Skoda cope with it? Is it okay?
That was in the days before the Skoda, when we weren't doing quite so well.
It's a pedal car. Okay, so you're in the New Forest.
Yes, and there was a different sort of animal running free. Pigs.
The New Forest pigs.
New Forest pigs.
How
I
do
guess they must be new.
Well, they were yeah.
I've never seen pigs
Well, they're
around
wild boar.
I don't think so. They were there was a herd of pigs, and they were running around, and they.
Is it a herd? Is that the collective noun for pigs?
there. Give me a minute and I'll think.
They came around us, and we could get quite close to them, and we stroked them.
Well, don't act like they're One Direction. The
Why-
pigs. Oh, we could get close to the pigs. Big wow.
But you know what? I'm not a big animal person. I don't feel.
I'm not a big animal. Just in case you were wondering.
Well, you say that. There's been a dog named after you.
That's true.
Yeah, but that's a little animal.
Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
And as I was amongst the pigs and stroking them, I felt a deep sense of connection to those animals.
Really?
Yeah, they're my guys, pigs.
Really?
I really
Mike-
like the pigs.
You know, if you was dead, they would have had you eaten in
Yeah.
sub 20 minutes, apart from your teeth.
Maybe they thought I looked ill. That's why they were
Did you
being
get
so
down with the
friendly.
pigs and stroke them?
I stroked the pigs, and
Even the George Michael back hair.
yeah, I really liked the
That's
pigs.
great, that's
So I
lovely.
think if perish the thought, I needed a new career path, I reckon I could be a pig man.
Swineherd.
Pig farmer,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. I'll do some research before I commit.
Yeah, exactly. I'd get the name right before the
Pig man.
interview.
I think the name's Leon.
What about the interview? Who'd be in the ante room when you went for the interview? People sitting there with pig experience. Oh, dear. Well, that's lovely, though. How often do we truly feel at one with nature?
I love that story.
Never.
Did you wash your hands afterwards?
Yes.
Good.
Okay. And have you since decided that you'll never eat pork again?
No, it's delicious. But I do like
I hope you
pigs.
told them that.
You can't eat your employees.
I don't
Are
think
they your employees or are they your clients?
Oh, the clients, Frank, you're right. Or are they your colleagues?
Can you imagine a swine?
Have you met my colleague?
Can you imagine that your new swineherd comes bursting into the office saying, I've lost the clients.
I don't think client.
Clients? What do you mean, clients?
I don't think client is the right word. I think that
Who'll
reflects badly on.
be the clients? Oh, no,
That reflects badly on how you feel your management company treats you.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
695 says the best thing to happen in the last 20 years is 3 lines on a shirt.
How lovely to say that.
Well, you say that, but they said 3 lines. Lines.
Do they work for Adidas?
No, I don't think... Oh, do they support Newcastle? They don't really understand. It's 3 lines, just FYI.
But that's nice.
Idiotic Eureka moment and a bit of praise.
I think probably just a spelling mistake.
Yeah, but maybe it was they actually did just like 3 lines on a shirt. Maybe it's Daniela Westbrook texting in.
258. The pigs are released to eat the acorns because they're poisonous to the ponies.
Oh, I see.
Makes sense. That's how lovely. See, that is an example of a truly functioning environment.
And the dragons are released to eat the pigs. That's probably why they're there.
I'm happy with that. Shall we move on?
Well, yeah, but not before 332's missive. Gareth likes the New Forest. Didn't he go there with Laura for a night away from Ethan? A huge 12 minutes away.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wow, well
Was,
remembered.
We went away for the weekend, booked a way to stay somewhere, put it into the sat-nav, 12 minutes from where we live.
That's parenthood, isn't it? Just another room. Just going to the toilet on your
a
own
night's
feels like a
sleep.
treat.
That's like when an ex-boyfriend took me for a mini break weekend away, and it was just near Gatwick Airport, the hotel, which I thought was a bit of a strange choice. We had a nice time.
Did you hold back the lolly?
Okay.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Did you see that thing about the flatmate in China who did a good trick on his flatmate? He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
flatmate. I've said flatmate twice
I
in
did.
a slightly odd way.
I did see it. Was it a
Don't
good
review your performance whilst it's happening.
Was it a good trick or was
Frank
it a
will
bit...
do that.
Go on.
I thought
Well.
it was a good trick. What he did is on the picture of it, it looks like a lovely fried chicken burger type thing.
It looks like a schnitzel.
It does.
I had one named after me once.
Really?
He was getting his revenge on his flatmate for stealing his food, wasn't
Yes. So he made what he did.
Can I say what gets me about that? If you take the opening sequence of Les Miserables, the man is arrested for stealing a loaf.
Jean Valjean being
Yeah.
the man.
Arrested for stealing a loaf, and I think they're going to execute him for stealing a loaf.
Yes.
Now, I bet a lot of student types would be saying that's absolutely outrageous. You know, the man was hungry, he needed food, and that's what's, you know, these fascists. When it happens to the students, they're all for making nasty things to get their own back.
Oh, right.
That's the hypocrisy of the student population. Good night.
We've done a lot of pointing out hypocrisy on this show.
Exactly,
The terrible hypocrisy of Philip Schofield.
That is the title of the article I've got in the Times tomorrow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm glad it's an article and not a dear sir. Oh, dread those.
Anyway, so the trick he's done is he's made a cardboard chicken schnitzel. Let's call it a schnitzel.
Let's call it.
Yeah,
Even
he
though
went
it's
to
in
some
China.
lengths.
Yes. So what you do, he first got 2 sort of oval-shaped bits of cardboard and taped them together because he didn't think it'd be thick enough otherwise.
No, he's thought it. He's given it some thought.
Can I say he gave it the degree of thought which I would expect you to give it, Frank Skinner?
Yes. Well, no, it
Leads me
looks.
to conclude he might be a bit of a get.
Well, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would have tasted like. I imagine if you come home drunk enough, who cares?
Like so many things.
Yeah,
He soaked it in
indeed.
soy sauce, Frank.
That's the weird bit for flavour.
Why did he use it
It's
for
not
flavour?
real. Why is he doing it in soy
I
sauce?
think he wants to see how far down the schnitzel it can get him. Yeah.
He could
can't-
completely fool him.
But it looks... I'll tell you what, it would be great.
You put chilli on it?
If there'd been a ransom demand and he had to pay them in schnitzels.
Yes.
You know, in films when they put real money just
beg your
on...
pardon.
They put real money just on the top and the bottom of the pile of notes. He could have a pile of... if he had one of those at each end, it'd fool them completely.
I know.
It'd be a great ruse.
In the great schnitzel ransoming.
Yeah, you have to pay 5,000 schnitzels to get back your son, your rather wayward son who's been hanging around with the wrong types and getting involved in
Why do people get
barbiturates.
so angry because people steal their food? I mean, really? It's a piece of old chicken. It's not a
Is this-
Cartier bracelet. Calm down.
Is your argument just buy more food?
I'll just move
Let
on.
them eat cake.
You're quite right, though. He's, he could have killed this friend.
Oh, because of cardboard.
Throw it
Yeah.
at him.
He could know if he'd swallowed that cardboard. Who knows? Anyway,
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So we were talking about thieving flatmates. I haven't been in a lot of flat situations, but when I used to live with my family, my good-looking brother Josh, he had a way.
We
of...
haven't heard of him for a long time.
He's doing ever so well. By the way, I don't know, I'll tell you
What's he
that.
doing?
He's a cinematographer now.
I thought he was going to say it was a cinema rusher.
I think it's been Osher morning.
If you're good looking, that is a good job. You don't have to work, really, if you're that good looking.
No. Is he still good looking?
Yeah.
How old is he?
Anyway.
I'm just wondering how much longer he's got that as
30.
currency.
I think he's 30 something.
About 7 or 8 years.
God bless him.
I think
anyway.
Lee Richards improved with age, though.
You think? Well, okay.
Anyway, but what he used to do is, because if he's got some chocolate, he would eat it all at once.
Right.
Whereas I save chocolate for a very long time.
Oh,
Just eat
like a
a little
hoarder.
bit of it. Let it
Okay.
melt in my mouth very slowly.
Please
and
stop doing that face.
You're like Cat Weasel.
squirrel the rest away.
Okay.
And so he wouldn't just outright steal it from the fridge. He would move it in the fridge to a different location, and then, if I didn't mention it for a period of time, he would then eat it.
This sounds like something you'd see on a natural history programme, doesn't it? that voles do. Incredible thing, watch it. And you won't believe it. He moves the food here and then doesn't touch it. And now 2 weeks later...
The good-looking brother.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, you know what I think's happening here? I don't think there's any intent behind it at all. I think he's so good looking, he has a kind of devil-may-care attitude to life. He just takes the chocolate out, puts it back. You're more concerned with what remembering where it's been.
Sometimes he rearranges the whole fridge just for the hell of it.
It's because he can.
Even the egg, you know the eggs in their little holders in the door? Sometimes he just moves those around.
Yeah.
It's like playing Go with the eggs.
That's what it's like for these good-looking people. They live to different rules to us.
Yeah, they do. They have no
Thanks
rules.
very much. Include me in your
You notice
triumvirate.
I completely went with it.
I know. I'm happy to go with it as well.
I lived with a man who had very, very bad body odour. And
Congrats, well done.
and somebody
My
there,
good-looking brother.
No.
Because he doesn't care. He doesn't
Well,
need
he doesn't have to use deodorant.
Doesn't need to wash.
and
He's
somebody
beautiful.
wrote to odour eaters on his behalf,
Okay.
asking if they could make him a suit.
Oh, no.
And odour eaters wrote back to him with quite a very lovely, detailed letter of saying why it was difficult to make the seams.
I should have got in touch with that Chinese guy. Could have.
He was completely broken-hearted. That's that story. Anyway, another game of pie face. So yeah, why didn't the Chinese man use odour eaters and batter those? That would have been a lark.
Very absorbent. It would absorb all the soy sauce.
And I lived with a bloke who only had 2 records as well. So all he
Criminal.
played was Blue Monday by New Order and what was it? Love Missile F-111 by Zig Zig Sputnik, and he just
over and over again.
he just interchanged one after the next and swapped them. I mean, all night. Yes.
Which one did you prefer, the stinker or the one with the only 2 songs?
I preferred the one with the 2 songs. He was a sculptor as well, which I liked. And when you went
This
into
wasn't romantic liaison.
when you went to his flat, when you went into his flat, there was like gravel on the floor and stuff. It was he basically lived in a quarry within the bedsit.
What was David Baddiel's worst habit? Are you allowed to say?
I think it was wearing a very short dressing gown. Thank you so much for listening. Gareth, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Gareth.
Thank
We
you for
love
having
you.
me.
It's always lovely to see you. And you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out!
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.